Lenape people whose lands we are on today. I pay my respects to their elders, past, present, and emerging. I'm going to tell you a story about an encounter I had with Yasur. In English, Yasur is a volcano. On Tanna, Yasur is a god. Tanna is an island, part of Vanuatu, in the Pacific Ocean or Oceania. This is Yasur up close, and this is Yasur from a distance, and you can see that Yasur has its own microclimate. It creates rains as well as smoke. Local communities living at its base allow visitors to climb up to its rim when it is less active. They say it has 5 levels of activity. It was at its safest level. I had to climb up its outer rim to reach the crater. I am unfit, so I took my time walking up the stairs. By the time I was at the top, I was alone. I could not see the crater because of the smoke and clouds. I was out of breath. I bent over, both hands on my hips, heavily breathing, focusing on slowing my breathing down. That's when I heard it, breathing next to me. It was slow and deep, much like my breathing, but an entirely different magnitude. It was Yasur. I could not see it, I could only hear it. I stayed there a while, listening and in awe. There was no viewing platform. We were on the rim, looking directly into the crater. Every time Yasur erupted, I would tremble. I felt both awe and terror. Sometimes I would run away from the edge of the rim and feel my legs buckle a little. Then I would come back to watch Yasur, mesmerized and elated. This encounter with Yasur's breathing and then the awe and terror I felt when it erupted called me into a different time and space. Dan Talapapa Macmillan calls this ancestral time and ancestral space. We Samoans call space Va. Va effectively means relationality and connection. For Samoans, space is defined by relationships. There are no empty spaces. This is why Samoans sometimes call the Pacific Ocean Vasa, or sacred relational space. We see the ocean as what connects our islands, not what separates us. In ancestral time and space, I open my senses. I become part of oceanic life worlds. This is felt as a sharing of divinity with the cosmos, the earth, the sky, the ocean, and I emerge within a world, not outside it, with the spirits, the ancestors, our people, communities, and the more than human. I am them and they are me. Divisibility rather than individuality. Before metamorphizing into a volcano, Yasur was a human. There are similar stories of ancestral humans turning into geological forms throughout the Pacific. As a human, Yasur travelled across Tanna looking for a place to stay, encountering 2 women who made lap-lap. Lap-lap is made from a paste of breadfruit, bananas, taro or yam roots with fresh coconut cream. It is wrapped in banana leaves and cooked in an underground stove oven using hot volcanic stones from Yasur. Breadfruit, bananas, taro and yam are significant crops. Tanna means big soil. Before climate change, Yasur's microclimate created rain. These rains carried topsoil across the island and layers of ash, enriching the soil. Tanna, known as the land of plenty, is made fertile and rich by the volcano. The people of Tanna are master gardeners. On Tanna, the yam is the king of all crops. In a village called Yako, I met with a spiritual guardian of the yam. He is responsible for caring for the yam and ensuring an abundant harvest. The yam, which was also once a human, is his ancestor. And this is a photo of me collecting testimony for a climate case. Yam is more than food in Yako. It is central to important ceremonies, including chief selection. The existence of the people is inextricable from the existence of the yam. The yam has not grown in Yako for 5 years. The yam's custodian talks about this as if his life has lost all meaning. We know that climate change is interfering with the rains and the climate, including the microclimate on Tanna. Yasur is not the same. It rains at the wrong times and the rain is too heavy. The heat is too much for the crops. The yam cannot tolerate these changes. Western science tells us that across the Pacific, temperature conditions required to grow our customary crops have been exceeded because of climate change. This means crop yields are depressed and the quality impaired. I could not lose the sense that these people were telling us that the fabric of life is unravelling. Storytelling is a strategy of decolonial and Indigenous lawyering for 3 reasons. First, storytelling is our sovereignty, and it's our philosophy, a philosophy of the whole of life. Storytelling is our law, and it is, as C.F. Black puts it, sourced from the land. Second, Indigenous stories and testimony centre Indigenous knowledge and perspectives. Stories about the yam and Yasur are not metaphors. They are not fantastical. Throughout the Pacific, stories reveal the truth and details about a place. Although this truth is poetically expressed through our 1,400 languages in the Pacific, these languages are ecologically derived. They are tied to space. Yasur is a creative life force. It creates weather, it gives fire and stones for cooking, enables crops to be grown, enriches the soil, creates new land, breathes. It is unpredictable and can't be controlled. It strikes awe and fear at the same time. Yasur is not dead or inanimate, as Western science would have it. It has its own life force and life essence, and is in relationship with the people of Tanna. Third, Indigenous storytelling challenges the Western notion of nature and environment as neutral and universal. They are the perfect coloniser's term because they are applied to everywhere. I use the term vital spaces to express the stupefying richness and complexity of oceanic spaces. The term vital spaces challenges the Western property paradigm by expressing the agency, life, and necessity of inhabited places. Vital spaces are specific and storied. They are living and responsive. Vital spaces are where we come from. It is in this sense that they are literally an ancestor. And on that note, I'm going to give the last word to Yasur. Thank you.